Hi everyone, welcome back to Infinite Math Help Squared. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the tools for the applets that I linked into the description of the videos for transformations. Geogebra and Open Up Resources have amazing applets in my opinion to manipulate figures, modeling the transformations. They are a great way to experiment with transformations for learning, and then also to check your work if you've had to do it by hand to show work. So let's start with the one that I ended with in translations. There was a rectangle and we had to translate it 2 to the left and 1 up. Now, I'll start with that and then I'll go over the tools with you. So this particular one is the applet from Open Up Resources. It has all the tools you need for translation, reflection, and rotation. For dilation, I will go straight to Geogebra because it's inclusive. It has everything. Okay, so you see that I have the polygon ready to go. If you are interested in translating it, simply hit this tool right here, which says Translate by Vector. I think they've updated it where you do not have to have the vector in order to move it. But once you click that tool and you click the figure that you want to translate, it made a copy for you. It made the image. You can see now E prime, F prime, G prime, H prime, which means I get to click and drag where I want it to land. So remember, we were moving each point 1, 2 to the left and 1 up. And there you go. This is where it belongs, right? My cursor tool is still active, so this is actually done. If you wanted to create a vector, you could, and you can click the starting point. Here, let me undo that so that you don't get confused. You click your starting point and your end point because now you won't lose track of where E is supposed to land. When you transform E by the 2 left, 1 up, it's supposed to land on I right now. So you click your translate tool, click your figure, and then just drag. Drag it to where it needs to be, and then voila, there you go. That's not necessary, but if it helps you keep track of where you go, then I recommend it. Okay, so that's translating. Now let's look at the other tools. I'm going to erase everything. I'm going to reset. That's what this button over here does. The cursor tool you need in order to move things like the grid, or if you need to switch off. So here's your point tool. It just allows you to create points where you need them. You saw that I had X and Y axis. So if you click the line tool and any 2 places on the grid, it will create. I don't like that one. Try to get it into the corner if you can. Sometimes it snaps into place, sometimes it doesn't, so you be careful. But this is how I drew the X and Y axis. I clicked my text box, and then I wrote here X axis. You could type it, you could write it, either way, it's there. And then cursor, click and drag to where it belongs. Let's see, you don't need me to do that. Here, segment. Segment is different from a line because it ends. It does not continue. These can also be transformed. So let's use this to reflect. This is the reflect tool. And you're allowed to reflect if there's already a line that you'd be able to reflect over or around, right? Like in reference to. I shouldn't say around because of rotation. But let's say I want to reflect. It'll say here, select the object and then the line that you want to reflect over. So I want to reflect this segment. And I want to reflect it over this line. Okay, let's try that again. Because for some reason it created points. Reflect about a line. Oh, the object. So maybe they will not let me. Oh, no, they did. Okay, that worked out really nice. Because you can see here from E to E prime, it's on the other side of the x-axis. F to F prime, other side of the x-axis, it definitely reflected it over x-axis. Okay, another tool, the polygon tool. Polygon tool is great because let's pretend you had a figure that you needed to transform. You can sketch it here. Make sure you closed it. So for example, I started here and I drew my 3 points, but you have to close it. So go back to the original. Now you have a polygon that you can actually move around. So let's pretend I want to reflect the triangle now. I'll go back to my reflection tool. I'll click my polygon. It's highlighted. And then I'll click my x-axis again, and then it reflected it. So you have G, G prime, H prime, I prime. The last tool on here is that I should explain is your rotation tool. This is just a hide tool. So let's pretend I don't want to confuse you and I want to hide. I don't. They didn't do a very good job of hiding it, did they? It's just like not highlighted. It used to be. Oh, well now it's really gone. Show or hide. Okay, I wanna hide that too. Can you? Okay, I'm incompetent. All right, let's go back to the rotation tool. So rotation, it says rotate around a point. That means you have to pick the object, the center, and then the angle. So you'll understand more when I do the rotation video, but in order, I have F over here just kind of like hanging out. So maybe they'll let me rotate there. On second thought, I would like to rotate around the origin. So let's take that. Let's take our figure, rotate it around the origin. And I would actually like to rotate it 90 degrees. Counterclockwise is fine. And then there you go. So if you click trash, then you can trash individual items. So it took triangle GHI and it rotated around the origin 90 degrees. And that is rotation. Let's take a look at dilation, shall we? In the Geogebra link, you would have to click, they show you the basics, and then they show you the button more. Click more, and then you'll be able to scroll all the way down to transformations. You'll notice the same tools that we just went over, with the exception that dilate from a point is here. So these two triangles were the ones that I used in the first problem for translations. So let's dilate. I'll take the original and I want to dilate this figure and I'll dilate it randomly around B. Now what scale factor do I want to use? Let's pretend I want to cut the figure in half. So I'll put 0.5, click OK. And using B as the center, it shrunk or cut the figure in half. Okay, what if I wanted to double it? So select your figure. I'll still use B as my center. And now I want to double its size. And boom. Now, here, click your cursor. So you can click and move. And then there you go. So you see the original. A prime, B prime, C prime, and then Geogebra is making note that there is also another version of A prime, B prime, C prime because there's another transformation. But that's it. That's how you use the tools, and I'm pretty sure I went over all the ones that you would need in order to translate, rotate, reflect, or dilate. All right? If you have any questions, just throw them in the comments and I'll try my best to address them. Till next time.